Hi, my name is Katie Gallagher. I'm a K-12 Solutions Engineer with Blackboard. Today we're going to take a look at Blackboard Learn for K-12. You'll see how Blackboard empowers instructional improvement in schools, districts, and states. Today you'll see how Blackboard can be used by districts to drive student success and empower instructional improvement in a variety of ways. Blackboard Learn can be used in face-to-face instruction to introduce blended learning by extending what's happening in that face-to-face classroom into the online Blackboard environment. Blackboard can be used to begin a district-wide virtual school or offer some classes online. Blackboard is also leveraged by districts to provide effective and continuous ongoing professional development to ensure teachers actually spend more time in the classroom. Blackboard can be leveraged to digitize your curriculum and to share that curriculum with students and teachers anywhere they might be. And finally, Blackboard can be used to engage your entire community and parents and get them involved in their children's educations. Start our look from the perspective of a student. Quinn attends a traditional high school. A couple of his courses at the traditional high school are being extended through Blackboard Learn. His teachers in psychology and algebra are using Blackboard to enhance what's happening in the face-to-face classroom. Quinn is also taking an American history class fully online, and he participates in the psychology club at his school. When he logs into Blackboard Learn, a dynamic portal environment, information is presented to him based on who he is within his school, within the district, within the state. He's got a message from the state superintendent and access to information from the North Carolina DPI. Quinn can also move modules around so he can personalize his page or bring additional modules in, such as a calculator or a dictionary, to help him so that he can customize his Blackboard environment. What we're going to look at is what Quinn needs to do today, and to see what he needs to do today, he's going to check his dashboard. The notification in Blackboard Learn drives student and teacher activity throughout the system. When Quinn logs in, he can see what he needs to do. He can see if any work is past due or if he has work that's assigned for today, tomorrow, or this week. He also can stay on top of what's happening in his courses, so if his classmates have posted in discussion forums or teachers have posted announcements, he can see these here and drill to them from his dashboard. This is showing him things from across all of his courses, psychology, and his psychology club, as well as American history, so it's showing everything across all of the courses in which he's participating. Now today Quinn's really excited because he just got his first cell phone, and so he's really excited to go into Blackboard and to also personalize how he's receiving this information. By default, that type of information bubbles up on his dashboard so he can stay on top of what he needs to do to increase his success. But he can also choose to receive any of that information via email or even via a text message. Maybe he only wants really important information via text message, such as when a test is available or a test is due for him to complete. He can also do text to voice. This is leveraging our integration with our Blackboard Connect product. So now Quinn is set up to receive text messages when the test is available for him to take. So when he logged in, he also saw that he needed to work in his psychology course on Unit 1, Topic 1. So what we're going to look at is this perspective of a course from the student so that you can see how in Blackboard Learn, teachers can differentiate instruction for their students, as well as see multiple forms of authentic assessment so that teachers can actually use Blackboard Learn to assess their students. So when Quinn goes into his course, he can navigate from the course menu on the left-hand side. He's going to go into Unit 1. And I want you to notice here first that when Quinn sees that his Topic 1 that he's going to participate in today, notice how he can see the standards that are addressed within that topic. This is the counterpart online to a teacher writing the objectives of the day on the board in the face-to-face classroom. In Blackboard Learn, we've provided the foundation for standards-based teaching and learning in K-12 education by providing the ability for a district or a state to import their state or Common Core standards into Blackboard so that teachers can align content in their course to standards to provide a level of instructional insight to their students that they weren't able to do before. So notice that Quinn has access to Topic 1, but nothing else within Unit 1. This is also set up so that the student cannot move on until he demonstrates mastery to ensure that he's ready. So we're going to see that as Quinn goes through his lesson today. We'll also see how the lesson is differentiated based on Quinn's learning style. So first, Quinn's going to enter the lesson and participate in a learning module. This is information that the teacher's provided for him that he can page through in a logical and structured way, like he's reading the pages of a multimedia book. You see that he saw an image, an animation. Here we've got a multimedia SlideShare presentation that Quinn can navigate through. He can also expand this within his screen so he can view it in full screen mode, and then go back to his learning module very easily and move to the next item. In this case, it's a YouTube video that the teacher's embedded. When he's ready to move on, he can simply navigate back to his topic. He can even open his menu when he wants and move to the next item. There are many ways in Blackboard to assess students and for students to engage with their teachers. The next thing Quinn's going to do in this lesson is do an assignment where he writes an essay. In Blackboard Learn, there are many ways to capture essays from students, from essay questions within assessments to assignments and safe assignments, all forms of assessments for students. In this case, we've used a safe assignment so that Quinn can write his essay in another program such as Microsoft Word, and then he can submit the file to a teacher in a place where the teacher receives all the files for that particular assignment and can grade them easily within Blackboard. But in this case, with a safe assignment, it's a plagiarism tool so that when the teacher gets the assignment, she also gets an originality report to see if Quinn may have borrowed language from other sources instead of citing his sources correctly. Next, Quinn's going to participate in a brain dissection project. In the face-to-face classroom, what they had done in the face-to-face classroom is dissect sheep brains. And instead of the teacher walking around and trying to assess each stage of the dissection, since there were 5 stages, the students submitted images such as these within Blackboards. The teacher could go in and grade it via the rubric within Blackboard. Next, Quinn's going to participate in one of those wikis. Wikis provide a great way for teachers to engage their students in collaborative research. Within a wiki, students can go into any page, and on any given page they can edit the content of that page. They can add comments. They can connect to other pages or create additional pages within the wiki. This is a great way for kids to engage in collaborative research and work together to build content in the course. After the wiki, Quinn would do a practice tutorial, and when he's ready to demonstrate mastery of Topic 1, he can take a quick assessment within Blackboard. Teachers can very easily build assessments natively within Blackboard, but teachers can also bring in questions from formats like ExamView or Respondus and publish those questions very easily within Blackboard. This is an example of a very simple timed assessment within Blackboard that Quinn is just going to do very quickly. It's a quick check to make sure that he's understood Topic 1. Now notice he sees the time remaining here at the top. If this causes test anxiety for Quinn, he can simply close that feedback so that it doesn't make him quite as nervous. But many students like this feedback so they can see when how much time they have and when they're running out of time. It moves from green to yellow to orange and red as the student runs out of time. And when Quinn's ready, this is using the Blackboard hotspot question, and it's just asking the student to click on the part of the image that answers the question. Teachers can very easily create these within Blackboard. It's a native question type, and there are many different question types within Blackboard. When Quinn is ready, he can submit the assessment, and what's going to happen if Quinn demonstrates mastery by scoring 80% or better, and he can review his results here, he's going to move on to Topic 2. If not, he'll be provided remedial content. He can see right away that he scored 4 out of 4 points, and he'll be released to Topic 2 to move on because he's demonstrated mastery. He can review his question by question here. When he goes back to Topic 1, or Unit 1, instead of just seeing Topic 1, he sees Topic 2. Now this simple conditional release, ensuring that Quinn doesn't move on until he's ready, is just one example about how of how adaptive release within Blackboard can be used to differentiate instruction or personalize the learning path for students. So now that Quinn has gone through in his psychology class and reviewed and completed topic 1, so now that Quinn has completed his work in psychology for the day, he's ready to move to algebra because tomorrow Quinn has a test in algebra in his face-to-face classroom, and he wants to take advantage of the office hours that his teacher's holding tonight. His teacher's a coach and can't stay after school and hold a review session, so he's offered to have office hours within his Blackboard environment, leveraging Blackboard Collaborate. Quinn's going to go into his algebra class and enter a synchronous room. In this example, this class is using a WIMBA classroom where Quinn can go in and talk to his teacher. His teacher can help him, can answer questions. So you can see how right within Quinn's algebra course within Blackboard Learn, Quinn can easily navigate and log into his WIMBA classroom, which will allow him to communicate with his teacher and ask questions about his math test tomorrow. His teacher will actually be able to work problems out on the whiteboard and talk to Quinn online. And this is a tool that they use synchronously where the teacher and the students log in at the same time to communicate in real time with each other, all leveraged directly within Blackboard Learn, integrating with Blackboard Collaborate. Now that Quinn has done his work in psychology and participated within his algebra office hours, he's ready to check his grades. He wants to see how he's doing. So he's going back to his homeroom page within the system, and he wants to check his report card module, which will show him how he's performing in his classes. When he looks at his report card, he sees that he has an A in psychology, but maybe he wants to know more. So he's going to drill into that A so that he can see what's all of his assignments and all of his current grades for assignments that he's completed. If you look at the brain dissection project, for example, that we saw when Quinn was going through the lesson, notice how Quinn sees that he earned a 90%, but he can also open up the rubric that the teacher used to grade his sheet brain dissection, and he can see exactly where he lost some points. So he had a problem with his images being labeled incorrectly or out of order. But overall, he did a great job. So when Quinn's ready, he can check his next grade. He sees that he got a 97% on the States of Consciousness paper. Maybe he wants to understand better what that 97% means. So notice how he can pop open the alignments and see exactly which standard that he demonstrated 97% mastery of against by looking at that standard alignment within his grade report. So I hope this gives you a general idea about how Blackboard Learn can be used to improve teaching and learning for the student. And next, what we're going to do is take a look at Blackboard Learn at a very high level from the perspective of a teacher. And you'll see right away that I teach within the state of North Carolina. Now this branding in the modules can be customized even further. So, the different branding at the top could reflect the district that I teach in within the state, for example. And the message could, I could also have a message from the superintendent of my district or the principal of my school, depending on who I am within the system. So before I go any further, I'm going to go back into that class that Quinn was just in as a student to point out a couple other pieces of the lesson that he walked through. Just want you to see how powerful Blackboard Learn really is, because we wanted to show how instruction could be differentiated. So within this lesson, see how the teacher sees 3 topics, whereas Quinn only got to the second topic because he'd only demonstrated mastery of 1. This lesson was differentiated based on Quinn's learning style. Quinn had been identified as a kinesthetic learner, so notice he never saw this auditory project that he could have been assigned or the visual project. He was assigned a hands-on project because he was a kinesthetic learner. And Quinn never knew anything different. He just saw the content that applied to him. Also at the bottom of the lesson, if Quinn hadn't scored an 80% on the summative assessment, he would have received remedial content in this topic 1 content review. And after he went over that material to learn topic 1 better, he would have had another chance to demonstrate mastery on topic 1. So just, a real clear example of how instruction can be differentiated and personalized for each individual student within Blackboard Learn, something that oftentimes is very difficult to do in the face-to-face classroom, but it just happens seamlessly in the online environment. From this page, as a teacher, just like Quinn could access any of the courses and organizations he was participating in, I can access all the courses that I'm teaching, any clubs or professional development organizations that I'm leading. You could see here that I'm leading the psychology club, teaching some professional development, and also participating in some online PLCs such as reading and writing across the curriculum. Just like Quinn used the notifications dashboard to drive his activity within Blackboard Learn to improve his learning outcomes, as a teacher, I leveraged the notifications dashboard to help me manage my time